In 2011, Novak Djokovic wasn't just winning matches, he was destroying everyone in his path. He went on a streak so unbelievable, so dominant, that it didn't just shake up men's tennis, it rewrote the balance of power in the sport. This was the year Djokovic went from the third guy behind Federer and Nadal to the best player on the planet. The year he ripped through the two greatest rivals in tennis history and made them look human. This is the most savage year of Novak Djokovic. The context before 2011. To understand how shocking 2011 was, we need to go back. By 2010, Djokovic was already a star. He'd won the Australian Open in 2008. He lived near the top of the rankings. He could beat anyone on a good day. But he also had a problem. He faded in long matches. He sometimes struggled with breathing and stamina. People joked about him quitting. It wasn't fair, but it stuck. Late in 2010, a few big things changed. Serbia won the Davis Cup, and Djokovic led the way with huge wins that gave him a dose of belief he'd never felt before. That team victory in Belgrade mattered more than most people realize. It lit a fire. He also cleaned up his body and his habits. He focused on what he ate, how he trained, and how he recovered. The goal was simple: be fresh in the fifth set, not fading. He wanted to be a wall, fast, flexible, calm. By January 2011, he wasn't just better. He looked like a new player. The start of the streak. The season began at the Australian Open, and Djokovic tore through the draw. He beat Roger Federer in straight sets in the semifinals, then handled Andy Murray in straight sets in the final. That win kicked off a run nobody saw coming, a 41-0 start to the year, the longest season-opening streak since modern records began. The streak only stopped in June in the French Open semifinal when Federer finally clipped him. And this wasn't against easy opponents. He beat Federer 3 times during that run. He beat Rafael Nadal again and again. He won Indian Wells, he won Miami. He was playing fearless tennis, taking the ball early, squeezing angles with his backhand, and turning defense into attack in 2 steps. By May, the question flipped. It wasn't, can Novak beat Roger or Rafa anymore? It was, can anyone beat Novak? Dominating Nadal. Before 2011, Nadal had the edge in their rivalry. He was stronger on clay, tougher in the grit, and he won the biggest fights. In 2011, Djokovic flipped it. He beat Nadal in the Indian Wells final, then again in the Miami final. Then came the real shockers. He beat Nadal in the Madrid final on clay, and then beat him again in the Rome final on clay. 2 clay court finals, 2 straight wins. That told the whole tour. This wasn't a hot streak. This was a takeover. Wimbledon, the crown. Wimbledon was the next mountain. Djokovic had never won it. Nadal had. They met in the final. Novak played bold, stepped inside the baseline, and trusted his legs. He won in 4 sets. The next day, he woke up as world number. Won for the first time. It wasn't a nice story, it was a power shift. The US Open, the fearless point. If you want one point that shows how savage Novak was in 2011, it's the US Open semifinal against Federer. Match point down on Federer's serve, most players would block back the return and hope. Djokovic ripped a full-blooded forehand return winner. He went on to turn the match around, then beat Nadal in the final for his 3rd major of the year and a 6th straight win over Rafa in finals that season. That wasn't luck, that was ice in the veins. The raw numbers of 2011. Let's keep it simple. 70 wins, 6 losses. 10 titles, including 3 Grand Slams, Australian Open, Wimbledon, US Open. A 41-match winning start to the year. A combined 10-1 record against Federer and Nadal. A then-record single-season prize money haul of over $12.6 million. These aren't just good. They're historic. Here's why fans call 2011 the most savage. It wasn't just about numbers, it was about the story. Tennis had been a 2-man show, Federer and Nadal, for years. In 2011, Djokovic kicked down the door. He beat them on hard courts, on clay, and on grass. He became number 1, and the sport turned from the Big 2 into the Big 3. Without 2011, the rest of his legend looks different. 2011 was the birth of the Djokovic era. Novak's 2011 game plan was clear and repeatable. Return like it's a serve. He treated second serves as chances to attack. That's why he could win close matches without panic. That's why he could take a punch and give 2 back. After the US Open, his body showed some wear. He retired in the Cincinnati final with a sore shoulder. He lost a few matches late in the year, but the damage had been done to everyone else. He finished number 1 and the rest of the locker room knew it. A new boss was in town. The rival's view. Even players and coaches who didn't love losing to him had to admit it. In 2011, he played a level that forced everyone to rethink their plans. He found ways to take Nadal's heavy topspin early. He took time away from Federer. He turned defense into instant attack. People argued about why, better movement, better diet, better belief, but nobody argued about the result. He owned the year. Was 2015 actually better? Here's where the debate gets spicy. Many analysts say Djokovic's 2015 season was the best single year anyone has ever played. Statistically, it's a monster. 82 wins, 6 losses, 11 titles. He reached all 4 Grand Slam finals, winning 3, lost the Roland Garros final to Stan Wawrinka. A record 6 Masters 1000 titles in one season, an ATP Finals title on top, a record pile of ranking points and more than $21 million in prize money. He reached the final of almost every big event he entered. He beat elite players over and over, a record number of top 10 wins for a season. That's not just dominance, that's total control of the calendar. What 2015 looked like month by month. He started by winning the Australian Open again. Then he swept Indian Wells and Miami. He rolled through spring, even grabbing Monte Carlo and Rome, and he often looked untouchable on slow courts where others felt stuck. He lost the French Open final to Wawrinka in a heavy-hitting classic, then bounced right back to win Wimbledon, then the US Open, then finished the year by taking the ATP Finals. He also stacked a record 6 Masters titles: Indian Wells, Miami, Monte Carlo, Rome, Shanghai, and Paris. That set a bar no one had ever reached. By the end of 2015, writers and numbers folks were lining up to say, this might be the greatest year the men's game has ever seen. Not just great, the gold standard. So, if 2015 was better, why call 2011 the most savage? Because savage isn't only about stats, it's about shock. It's about the feeling in the sport when the old order falls. 2011 was the ambush. 2015 was the empire in full control. In 2011, Novak didn't just win, he flipped rivalries that felt locked in. He took Nadal's clay crown, took Federer's grass dream, and took the number. One spot all in one breath. That's why 2011 hits different. But wait, what about 2021? In 2021, Djokovic chased the rarest goal of all. The calendar year Grand Slam, all 4 majors in one season. He won the Australian Open, he won Roland Garros after beating Nadal in an epic semifinal and coming back from 2 sets down in the final. He won Wimbledon. That left the US Open as the last stop for tennis immortality. He reached the final, and then Daniil Medvedev played lights out and stopped him 1 match short. Even so, 3 majors and 4 major finals in a single season is wild. He also set the all-time record with a 7th year-end number, 1 that year. The summer also brought the Olympics in Tokyo. He went for a Golden Slam, all 4 majors and Olympic gold in 1 year, and made the semifinals. But Alexander Zverev turned that match around and Novak left without a medal after a close bronze match against Pablo Carreño Busta. It hurt, but it didn't erase the scale of his season. So yes, if we're talking cold numbers, 2015 is probably the top. If we're talking history on the line, 2021 had the highest stakes. But if we're talking the year that changed everything, 2011 is the most savage. The rivalries reset. Let's zoom in on how 2011 rewired the 2 biggest rivalries he had. Against Nadal, 2011 was a 6-final sweep. 2 on hard courts, 2 on clay, 1 at Wimbledon, 1 at the US Open. That's not a small sample. That's a season-long statement that he could take Rafa's heaviest ball early again and again and still win in the trenches. It changed how Nadal had to play him for years after. Against Federer, that US Open return on match point turned into a symbol. Federer still beat him at Roland Garros that spring to snap the streak, but after 2011, the head-to-head balance kept tilting Novak's way. The message was clear. If you leave the door open for 1 point, he'll run through it. The tactics that made 2011 work. What exactly did he do differently? Return position. He stood closer, especially on second serves, and took time away. Backhand cross-court. He pinned lefties in the corner, then went down the line to flip the point. Flexibility. The splits, the slides, the stretch volleys. He could defend angles most players can't even reach. Serve placement. Not the fastest, but precise. Out wide to pull you off court, then a quick first step to take the next ball early. Shot tolerance. He could rally 20 shots without blinking, then pounce when your ball dropped short. All of that meant one thing: rallies started on his terms. There's also the mindset. In 2011, Novak looked free. He smiled, he roared, he joked, but when it mattered, he played with calm eyes. The pressure didn't squeeze him, he squeezed it. That's why the long points and the tight moments so often broke his way. Legacy check. What did 2011 set up? Everything that came later. The Masters records, the weeks at number, 1 records, the year-end number, 1 records, the debates about the greatest ever, the flood of majors. 2011 is the first brick in that wall. It's the year he proved to himself and to everyone else that he could take the sport's 2 biggest mountains and stand on top. Closing the loop. 2011 versus 2015 versus 2021, 2011. The takeover. Breaks the duopoly. Becomes number 1. Wins 3 slams. 6 straight finals wins over Nadal, including on clay. Starts 41-0. This is the shock to the system. The most savage. 2015. The perfect machine. 3 slams, 4 slam finals, a record 6 Masters, ATP finals, 82-6 record. Almost every big trophy on the table. This is the statistical peak. 2021. The moonshot. 3 slams, 4 slam finals, 1 match from the calendar year slam, Olympics chase, and a record 7th year-end number. 1. This is the year with the biggest target on his back. Call 2015 the best. Call 2021 the closest to history. But 2011? That's the year that changed tennis. That's the year a player once doubted for his fitness became the fittest, calmest finisher in the sport. That's the year Novak Djokovic didn't just join the legends, he rewrote how to beat them. If you are tired of feeling stuck in your tennis journey, training hard but not seeing real results, struggling with injuries, inconsistency, or feeling like you're not reaching your true potential, is because you're not doing what the pros do. The difference between staying where you are and playing like a pro isn't just talent, it's having the right system, mindset, and support. That's exactly why I created the Tennis Motivation Academy, for players who refuse to settle. If you're serious about leveling up, this is your shortcut. You'll get the Become a Pro Player Guide, so you train with the same structure as top athletes. Elite fitness routines, so you move faster, hit harder, and outlast your opponents. Injury prevention system, because pain shouldn't hold you back. A private community of winners, because who you surround yourself with matters. Spots are limited and doors won't stay open forever. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting the same results. Don't wait, take action now. The link is in the description. That's it for today. If you found this video useful, leave a like, subscribe, and share it with your tennis friends. See you in the next one.